Hi, so I thought I'd do a little video today to give you a bit of background about me, where I came from, and things like that really. So back in 2008, I used to be a kitchen designer. I didn't get paid what I thought I was worth, so I quit and got another job. My new job was awful. I quit 2 days later. I didn't have a job. So I thought I'd start a new business selling inflatable air dancers. Totally random. Story for another day. Anyway, being a new business owner with no experience was really hard, and I was struggling to make ends meet, trying to build this new business with literally no money. And it was a hard struggle, and the realization was that I really needed to find a second income that I could do at a weekend. So I wouldn't have to close my business and I wouldn't have to go back and get another 9 to 5 job. I wanted to be able to have enough money to contribute to the household expenses and still have some money left. And that was all I wanted. And then I could carry on building the air dancer business during the week. The thing is, I wasn't earning any money from the air dancer business, and that meant I wasn't able to contribute to any household expenses, and I was building up credit card debt daily, let alone carrying on building my business. And to make things even worse, I felt really terrible because I was newly married. I was living off my credit card and I never had any money to spend. And I felt even worse about the situation because my husband just wanted me to go out and get a proper job and get proper wages. And I felt like a bit of a failure, really, not having any of my own money, not being able to support myself and my son. And my son was from a previous relationship, and I'm a really independent woman. The problem was, after 10 months in my new business, selling these air dancers, and I still wasn't making any decent money, but I didn't want to give up. I was determined to make it work, which meant I couldn't contribute to anything, pay for anything, which was making my relationship with my husband really strained. And then, as if by chance, something amazing happened. I was at an exhibition in Birmingham and I was trying to pitch my air dancers to the trade stands. And then I saw this lady and she was spraying tattoos. And she was selling all the equipment. So you could go and spray tattoos as well. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And it took me back to the summer of 2008, the year before. And what I'd done was I created this little sideline selling sticky transfer tattoos. You know, the ones where you put the flannel and the water on top. And I'd done these and I'd sold them for £1. And I only did it just to make a bit of money to pay for the trade stand for the air dancers. But these airbrush tattoos were like 100 times better than what I did. And the kids went crazy for the adhesive ones. So I was convinced it was now all about the airbrush tattoos. It was crystal clear to me that I could sell airbrush tattoos at the weekend and I could still carry on building my air dancer business during the week. And I could make my money selling the tattoos at the weekend. I also learned that I could easily make over £300 a weekend selling these airbrush tattoos. I just needed to get the money for the initial investment to buy the equipment, and I'd be able to go out and basically start printing my own money every weekend. As a result, I begged my husband to buy the equipment, but he said no, we couldn't afford it. So after a few days, my mum said that she would pay for it all on her credit card and I could pay her back out of my earnings. So that was amazing. After that, I started practicing every night for hours and hours. And suddenly I realised after my first few events, it was possible. I could actually earn over £300 a day. And that's when I realised the secret to earning the same money as getting paid at a 9 to 5 job, but only working weekends, was selling airbrush tattoos. Every weekend, just like I did but for the transfers. So my plan was, I wanted to pay my mum back straight away. So I started practicing tattoos on my son every night to get faster. I had to get faster, but I didn't stop there. I then did lots of kids' parties in the local area to get even more practice and get faster. And after that, I booked out loads of outdoor events, but there was still a problem. Every time I went to an event, the queue was so long I just couldn't handle the amount of customers I had. I even had to rope my husband in to start doing tattoos as well, just so we could get the queue down. Every kid in the line would take ages to decide which one they wanted and then what colour they wanted. And then the parents would take ages to get their money out. And then some parents would take their kids out of the queue because they just didn't want to wait any longer. We needed to be able to spray the tattoos faster. We just needed to get quicker. We ended up getting so frustrated that we decided to create a system that would make it really easy for one, to get the kids to choose their colours and their design, and two, to get the parents to pay up front. And we called it a super slick ticket system. I love it. We thought if we could get people to pay up front and choose their colours up front, we would be able to spray the tattoos a lot faster when they got to the front of the queue. And it would be able to spray them faster than anybody else. And if people paid in advance, they wouldn't leave the queue. If this could happen, I would really be able to double my earnings in a day. I can now spray about 35 tattoos an hour without worrying about choosing the colours for the children and giving the change to the parents, and what used to be about 20 tattoos an hour when I first started. Our new efficient ticketing system was really, really good, and nobody was leaving the queue. And then when I had to start training new staff, because I just couldn't cope on my own anymore, we got the staff up to speed on the new system, and they wouldn't have to touch any money. So that was a weight off my mind as well. And as a result of all of this, we were able to achieve the following. Within the first 5 weeks of launching my tattoo business, which I called Tatts, I was able to repay my mum's credit card in full. In my second year of business, I was earning over £10,000 just over a couple of months of work. I was spraying over 250 tattoos every weekend. I was bringing so much joy to children's faces with these brightly coloured tattoos that they could go off and show off to everybody at school next week. And then we'd go back every year to the same events, and the same kids would come back because they just loved the tattoos so much. It's not just a money-making machine. Airbrush tattoos spreads joy to so many children's faces. It's just unbelievable. And after creating Tatts, I was not only able to carry on building my air dancer business without having to worry about my money problems, I was able to build my tattoo business at the same time. I've also been able to pick my son up from school every day. And when I had my second child, my daughter, she's never had to go into childcare. Now fast forward to now, 2020, I closed down the inflatable business back end of 2018, and I didn't have to worry about money because I've got my beloved airbrush tattoos. My daughter's nearly 10 years old now, and she has come to work with me every time since she was 3 weeks old, and she can even do airbrush tattoos now as well. Now in the end, all of this, what it means is I've been able to be there with my children every time they've needed me. I've never had to miss any events, and I've always had some money in my purse. I was able to pay off all my credit card debts that I'd accumulated, and I've never missed a single highlight of their lives. All thanks to airbrush tattoos.